rough, they got it all. Rage quitting, head banging, it's a metal brawl. Mental meltdown, giving in flames. Chris and Henrik bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content. Better games, ripping through pixels, the ultimate game to get around. The ultimate. Rave over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and HenricK on the stage. Talking gaming news, industry that can't escape. Reviewing video games, no need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and HenricK, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scales, they expose it all, making sure no one jails. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quit. Rage quit. I'm losing my mind. Chris and Henrik, they're talking gaming all the time. Rage quit. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back and nothing else to compare. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to the season 9 finale of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
You know me, except this time it's the season finale, which means we just gotta rage even more today, right?
Yeah, we
Chris?
got to level up one more time. We know we got that extra rare candy, right? But you know what? We got to bring you guys the full-on delivery, and that's what we're here to deliver. We got a jam-packed show, so we can't thank you all the time, gamers, for joining us live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And, you know, it is season 9 finale, right, HenricK? And so, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of quirkiness with today's show, so just kind of bear with us. I mean, technology's got a little goofy on our end. We will not disclose the provider that we use for the show, but there's a little bit of hiccups going on when it comes to the live streaming space. So you might see things that you don't traditionally see on air that we're going to be showcasing today. So just kind of bear with us, as you know, that is the beauty of the live show nature. But let's go ahead.
But you know why we're here. We're here to rage, so let's get started with
That's
that.
right. Let's go ahead and start the show with the bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. You've probably taken some L's in video games, but Koji, K-O-G, just lost so hard at EVO this weekend, his controller might file for emotional damages. And meanwhile, Geo1 walked away with the crown and $15,000 playing Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, like he got cheat codes wired to his thumb. So witness the chaos that erupted on the main stage. It's a combo of glory, heartbreak, and sweaty palms. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Blow to punish the Red Panzer.
That was so insane. He played like the best round I have ever seen defensively. Goichi like, yo, my bad, bro. My bad.
Oh my God, bro. I feel it for both of them, honestly.
Oh my lord. KOG always a character.
He's going through it.
He's definitely going through it, and I know a lot of gamers online were just all over this video. And this is the part where we were telling you it's going to get really interesting during the live stream, because we're going to break this a little old school. We're going to have to do the screen share. We're going to have to pull up the classic photo app. You know, thank you, Windows. Thank you for at least working during this live show. So, you know, traditionally we'd have these beautiful overlays. But now you get to see both of our beautiful reactions as we go along and read these comments. So the first one reads, I swear to goodness, I'm not making fun of this dude, but no one has ever looked like they suffered like this in human history. Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the greatest freakouts of all times. Wouldn't you say, HenricK?
Oh, yeah. Definitely in the top 5, at least.
At least, that's for sure. And then the next comment that we got here is, this actually happened 10 years ago, which is something I actually never had a clue about. I mean, EVO wasn't obviously a real popular thing like it is now in 2025, but, you know, they did the same antics back in 2015, and that just goes to show, like, a little bit. I mean, obviously, he planned it, you know, Koji, but did you think Geo1 even knew what the hell was going on? I feel like for like 5 seconds he was like, oh, what the hell? And then I think it kind of like flashbacks and, you know, just memory just like, you know, go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe we're really doing this all over again. And then the last comment reads, guaranteed top 5 esports crash out from a loss just happened. So, you know, sometimes those are some pretty funny, legendary moments that can unfold. But man, you know what's also something that's pretty insane? You know, we've been talking about this for a while, how more you know, gaming services, even social media, it wouldn't surprise me if it starts entering the entertainment realms when it comes to movie and TV delivery, but you really thought you could outsmart the gamers with facial recognition and ID checks. Well, wrong, right? I mean, these are the same people that can, you know, mod Shrek on a broomstick in Hogwarts Legacy, right, gamers? So UK users are now bypassing age verification by uploading screenshots using Gary's mod instead of real selfies, and somehow it's working. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Doesn't that kind of say something about how good that AI is at
yeah,
detecting real
it's
faces?
fantastic.
Because I don't think that expression was actually very realistic.
I was like, what in the Sean Connery? As I used to say, you know, these damn old age verifications. All right, stop with the impersonation. Let's go ahead and jump right back into the Photos app that's been delivering us all the great goodies. That is the comments. So let's go ahead and share that up on screen if it wants to work for me right now. Oh, see, like I said, just bear with us, gamers. The comment right here. Let's hit the share screen. Oh, it doesn't want to do it for me right now. Oh, my Lanza. But, okay, I'll just have some fun. I know you guys can't see it on screen. We will fix it in the post edits for y'all. But the first one reads, 2004 game beats 2025 verification with over 70,000 likes. Yeah, it sounds about right,
Yeah.
HenricK. I mean, it's
Yeah,
pretty wild.
21 years later.
Yeah, it's pretty insane that there's a game. Yeah, 20 years in the making. And who would have thought? I mean, we've been laughing about this for a while, right? When you go on Steam, it's always like the 1977. I don't know who was born on 1977. I don't know if that's like a long-standing joke. But, you would think that they would want you to put in the month, year, and day. No, it's already given to you. So you just hit the verify, and then you're able to watch whatever kind of naughty, spicy, violent, gory, drug-induced kind of video game that's online. No, instead, we just got our 20-year-old games that can be able to finesse even the AI behind it. But then we also get a comment here that reads, 2008, don't put anything personal on the internet. 2025, put your whole face and ID online for who knows to check.
Yeah, isn't that a crazy idea to think back at how paranoid we were back then?
Yeah.
2008.
Well, you should still be paranoid. I mean, you definitely
you really should be, especially when you have things like, wasn't that app T recently involved with a data breach where a bunch of people's face and even driver's license or license in general was leaked to the public? Like, you don't want that to happen, do you?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's just crazy that, we actually have a World Password Day to remind you, the gamers, and the rest of the people around the globe, to change your passwords every 6 months. I mean, that's how dire it is in the year 2025. And yet, not AI is always going to protect you, right, fam? As you can clearly see in that clip. And then the last one is using Wallace Breen to, counter kind of authoritarian laws is the peak of comedy. Yeah, I know. Use a Half-Life 2 character.
It's really ironic. If you guys haven't played Half-Life 2 and you don't get that, you should go play Half-Life 2. It's a classic.
Remember I sent you that one clip with the future NCAA college athletes, and they were introduced a Nintendo GameCube, and they didn't know what it was. I mean, if you guys haven't seen that on live,
fam, Nintendo 64. It's like,
I think it was CBS Sports. I can't remember, or ESPN. If you haven't seen it, fam, oh my gosh, you have to check it out. But we definitely want to show you one last clip that's been going viral all across the globe, and that is a gamer is going viral for pulling off the most cold-blooded Call of Duty Warzone play of the year. I mean, he faked his own death using proximity chat like a pro after a long 9-to-5 grind. I mean, we've all been there, but just to get wrecked over and over and over again online, that's where it becomes believable. We've all been there. So the enemies thought he was down for the count, but they fell for it, walked right into his trap, and got sent to the gulag by the Academy Award winner himself. So let's take a look at this Oscar-worthy betrayal. Let's go ahead and take a look.
No! Nowhere went down the gas, bro! Guys, someone come get me! I'm in the basement! Someone come get me!
In the basement, guys! In the basement! Kill him! In the basement!
Toodaloo.
The little toodaloo.
I know, I love it. I mean, he was giving me so much of that Jim Carrey, The Mask kind of vibes. You know what I mean? It's just, that seems like a fun gamer to jump onto with Warzone. But yeah, obviously we got comments and we got a little bit of technical issues on our end, so just bear with us. But we are reading off those comments. The first one reads, "That smile was diabolical." You gotta love it. Very legendary in the making. And then
he loved every minute.
And he goes, "SMH, you did that to a kid. Now do it again." Which
make them learn.
Make them learn today. You know what I mean? And then I did this shit on DayZ once. Never been that smart in my life. And I mean, hey, DayZ is now available on the PS Plus Premium if you're afforded that opportunity with the streaming service. But hey, sometimes you got to practice. I wish there were more proximity chat available in these kind of style of games. I know Battlefield 6, I know the beta's starting to build up. I mean, 22,000 people the last I saw in the queue for a beta. Bring us some proximity chat, or at least in a game mode. That would be really, really jazzy. But we want to thank you, the gamers, for tuning in live for the Season 9 finale of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And, this is such an amazing ride. And we can't thank you guys enough for always joining us live on Meta, Twitch, and YouTube. Obviously, I think our QR codes are not wanting to work either as well. Nope. So
you can imagine. You know what they look like, and if you don't, I mean, it just means you got to come back another day.
You got to come back.
We can show you guys or just go to the YouTube channels anyways. It's either Chris Collins Show or HenricK the Wreck, one of the
That's
two.
right.
Go ahead and subscribe to both. Why not?
Right, that's right. And so, yeah, you're gonna tell that we have no idea what the hell we're doing. I mean, we're only 9 seasons in. We're just figuring it out along with the
Professionals,
ride.
right?
Just very professional with what we do. We're not gonna totally rage out just yet, but we're getting pretty darn close. But we got an amazing segment, an amazing ride. HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh yeah. Get in your ships, strap in, and go through that portal, because it's time for pause or repeat.
Yeah, you don't want to get sucked through that airlock. That's for damn sure.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Wildgate. Wildgate is a new co-op game by Dreamhaven, a company founded by ex-Blizzard employees. With such a legacy behind them, brings an expectation of polish to go with it. But will that hold back this game? Let's find out by diving into the gameplay. Wildgate is a PvEvP co-op shooter where you and your crew pilot a ship, attempt to retrieve an artifact, and then leave through a portal known as a Wildgate. All the while, enemy ships are also racing against you to retrieve the artifact. You'll have to work together with your team to keep the ship running, while also defending it from boarders or going to board enemy ships yourself. It's very similar to how in Sea of Thieves, you have to man the ship with your crew to make sure you don't sink. While not fighting other players, you'll be exploring points of interest and gathering resources like ice and fuel for your ship. Points of interest act like micro dungeons where you'll go in, fight some enemies, and unlock the room where there's some loot, usually upgrades or ammo. All in all, the gameplay is very collaborative, and it's encouraged to use a microphone and or play with friends to work together better. So is there any story involved in this at all? There is no story-driven mode yet, though the premise serves as the story. The game takes place in a dangerous part of space called the Reach. It is here that you'll come across all sorts of gangs, pirates, and explorers. What draws them there is the artifact, an ancient relic with insurmountable power and immeasurable value behind it. With such valuables at stake, crews will fight tooth and nail to escape with the artifact. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
Best way to sum this up is probably as easy as just saying this is Sea of Thieves but in space, right, Chris?
I mean, spoiler alert. I hope I'm not ruining anything for you gamers out there, but you might never touch grass again. Literally, you're stuck in space. I mean, welcome to Wildgate. I mean, where every match is like a chaotic blend of Mad Max in space and a very aggressive episode of Storage Wars. I mean,
yes.
You and HenricK, I mean, you and your Misfit crew are out to snatch this like mysterious artifact with like zero resale value on eBay, but infinity bragging rights to you and all of your homies. I mean, it's part spaceship brawler, I would say, part FPS, and all completely unhinged, HenricK.
Yes, and it does have a lot of variety in what you can do because of the fact that whether you're the captain of the ship, guiding people from point A to point B and point C, or if you're just one of the people in the crew who's going to be going out getting resources before you guys all go into an area and beat down some enemies and get some loot. There's going to be a variety of things to do, and you're always going to be busy, regardless of what moment in the game it is. And it just even gets even more chaotic once other enemy ships start to show up and try to board you and you try boarding them. It's one of those games where you really want to have friends. And if you don't have friends, you got to make friends quickly because you guys got to work together. And if, that communication and teamwork doesn't work out with you guys and you start yelling at each other, you've already lost.
But it's actually got quite an amazing gaming community space already amongst Wildgate.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be quite surprised to meet new games out there that are willing to bring you along for the fight, because this kind of game requires cooperation, and like you said, there's a multitude of things that you can do in Wildgate. I mean, you want to steal loot, you want to rig traps, hijack a rival's gear, or just panic repair your ship mid ambush. I mean, Wildgate is the perfect game for you. I mean, you're gonna obviously have those occasional morale breakdown, but I mean, it is so much freaking fun. I mean, what was your style of gameplay in this. I found myself, I mean, as much as there's a lot of things to do in the game, like, you know, a lot of maintaining, right? I just felt myself like just so focused, like Battlefront 2, not worried about all the shit that's going on behind the scenes. I just was hunting down enemies. I was the hitman. How did you play this game?
You know, that is fun to do. It's fun to go get some kills, but at the end of the day, I felt most valuable in the moments of fighting another team, defending the ship, but then also in the moments of not having to defend the ship, actually going out and grabbing the loot from either the resource modules, you know, like ice and the fuel,
Yeah.
or just grabbing all the loot from the loot area inside of the little micro dungeons. And that's why I really like playing the Ion character, because he's got multiple arms and you can
Yep.
carry tons of loot at one time as a
See,
result.
I
of
was
that.
a little bit of a wanker playing the game. I did venture quite a bit, only
okay.
because he's
All
a
right.
bit of a cheat code in the game. Only because like you don't have to worry about oxygen levels running
Yeah,
out. You
yeah.
know, you're constantly gonna get healed a little bit faster. It's probably the safest bet of a character in Wildgate. And I know there's a lot of people that might be jumping into the game. They're like, oh yeah, it's $40, HenricK. Oh, it doesn't come across like there's enough characters yet. We understand that, the crew story is written in laser fire and, I don't know, emergency duct tape. But, like, we have to address it. I mean, each round throws you into a procedurally generated mess. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of stuff, but it seems to work in what they call the Reach. And I know they do have a roadmap, the studio, and they're already saying that they will have a newer ship each year and at least an additional 3 characters along the way to add on to the replayability and just improvise your way through mayhem.
Yeah, and that is a promise from them. So at the end of the day, I mean, don't buy on a promise is my philosophy. But if they really do stick to that, that actually is very promising, considering something that I feel like a lot of new IPs like this don't end up doing is fulfilling their road plan, because they end up seeing, hey, we didn't really hit our numbers that we wanted to do. But it really does seem like the communities behind this game, like you said a bit earlier, a lot of people who play this game do want to actually introduce people to the gameplay and guide them through what's going on. And I experienced that the first couple times I played
Yeah.
a match, because I mean, this is one of those games you don't really know what you're doing until maybe a few hours in, and even then, that's a maybe.
And sometimes, too, games do have a little bit of I mean, yeah, it's a $40 game. I'm about to compare it to Apex Legends because, I mean, obviously that's a free-to-play game. But the point that I'm trying to make between those two games is that they both kind of had a little bit of a slow start to really develop their identity of what the game is all about. And you could clearly tell when you play Wildgate, they're on to something that I feel like gamers have been kind of wanting for a while. And it's that sense of fun that I haven't had in a cooperative game like Apex Legends in a very, very long time. And it's like whether you're the hotshot pilot or a sneaky saboteur, your tale is, less of a hero's journey and more of why is everything on fire. And I think that's what makes it a lot of fun. And I really do like the art direction choice in Wildgate. I mean, it's the atmosphere is full of high-tech junkyards, celestial hazards, and the ships that look like they were built during like a group project gone wrong. I just kind of love the quirkiness that's in the game. I mean, yet it's gorgeous. If your idea of beauty is like includes glowing space anomalies, and it just you get a little bit of that Borderlands aesthetic in a sense too, and a neon lit panic in a sense, but
a little bit.
yeah, but I overall it's like I understand they got the reach, but I'm assuming, I'm hoping, and maybe enough gamers will call attention to the studio, but like let's go beyond the reach. And I think that's kind of where they're going to go. But I mean, it just needs enough backing to be able to bring it into full fruition when it comes to Wildgate.
Yeah, and that is leading into like the story, for example. Doesn't feel like there's much there really, at least yet, but they definitely have a chance to expand on that, and it would be cool to also see some new areas be developed within the Reach and maybe even outside of the Reach. Maybe they find a new sector entirely.
Yeah,
The sky is the limit for this sort of game, and it also doesn't really have that much competition, really. So they can kind of set the precedent in a way for this kind of genre of game. And I appreciate that. You know, it's something new. It's something a bit different. Yeah, I made the joke. It's basically like Sea of Thieves, but in space.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I
a
mean,
good comparison.
at the same time, it is its own
I didn't even think about
thing,
that.
and even
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves doesn't really play entirely the same way.
Yeah,
It's just really the player dynamic that's the same.
well, especially when we reference how it's procedurally generated, multiplayer maps, right? So like every landscape or atmosphere is going to be a bit unpredictable. I mean, but it's so absurdly fun. I love the mechanics. I mean, and there's enough ways to betray your friends that it almost feels illegal. I mean, you better make sure that everybody's, closing every freaking lock. And, all the different options with the ships and the characters. I mean, I feel like Wildgate proves that space crime really does pay, assuming that you make it out alive. And so I'm calling a repeat. I think it's a lot of fun. I feel like you, the gamers, are completely missing out. I feel like it's not making enough noise. And I'm so glad that we're highlighting it, and hopefully you feel the same way, HenricK the Wreck. Do you like Wildgate?
Well, that's the complicated question, isn't
it?
No. Because I do want to really like this game. It's something new and, trying to do something very exciting. But like I was saying earlier, I don't buy in on a promise until it's fulfilled.
Yeah, I
so
hear you.
That's why.
At least it didn't go in the early game route. You know what I mean? That's the shit that drives
true.
me
Yeah,
nuts.
it definitely could have gone the early access
and
route.
I understand even like your criticism about the story. It's like, yeah, I mean they do have room for a story. It's like Apex. It's like, do they really want to go a Concord route and put all their money and focus on a cinematic scene, or are they gonna give us like comic book pages? Which to me it's really not necessary. Just give us some really cool badass characters like you see along the way. Like, who the hell gets to play as like a robot with a fishing bowl, sea creature, that gets to roam around space. I mean, some of these guys are so wonky and quirky, and I love it, but I did kind of cut you off because I have a feeling you're going to disappoint me. What are you going to say, HenricK?
Well, I mean, aside from just not wanting to buy in on a promise that hasn't been fulfilled just yet, I'm going to keep my eyes on the game. And, the game genre isn't really my style of fun that I go to all the time, but I think they could pull it off. They could definitely pull it off if they do.
So what are we saying? I feel like you're kind of leapfrogging a little bit. Pause for now. Okay.
For now.
Hey, well, you heard it from us. We're a bit split, but we want to know from you, the gamers. Are you vibing with Wildgate? Does this feel like a game that brings endless fun, or just a pause, to play something new? I mean, let us know what's good. But we got so much more here left on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So, HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh, yeah. Reload those guns because you're going to need them at the gun show.
Oh, look at you, Pikachu. You're trying to catch them all, baby. Let's go! What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. So August is here, and summer isn't the only thing sweating. Your backlog is too. And sure, we could talk about all the ports crawling their way onto every console and PC like it's some reunion tour, but nah, we're not going to do that, fam. I mean, we're skipping the reruns and spotlighting the hottest new games of the month worth your precious time. So first up, forget New York, right? We don't need. How many games do we need in New York? It's like every MCU, right? Every battle is in New York. Well, Mafia: The Old Country is finally going the full spaghetti with the crime spree in Italy. It's a linear, modestly scoped prequel that says, yeah, no thanks to the whole 200-hour open-world fiasco, and yes, please, to tight suits and tighter shootouts. If Hangar 13 pulls this off, it could prove you don't need a map the size of Jupiter to make a good game. Just a Vespa and a Vendetta. I mean, let's go ahead and take a look at the mayhem that the Mafia, the Old Country, is here to deliver real soon.
It's a mafia game. Come on,
It's
you know,
a
you gotta
mafia.
go talk to the spaghetti. And I'm making a joke here, but you know, it's a mafia game. Really, though,
Yeah.
it's gonna be good most likely, and if it isn't, then well that sucks.
I've
But
always enjoyed the Mafia series. I know there's always like random hate towards them. I think I saw like a post where, someone was trying to, stir a debate online going like, hey, what's like one of the best stories out there but has like one of the worst gameplay? And like someone was like Mafia 3. And I'm like, really? Mafia 3? I mean, when I look at that gameplay, I'm like, that looks like Red Dead Redemption 2. You know what I mean? And I feel like when you go into the Mafia, the old country, you're really going in for a badass story. You have to know that. I mean, don't go in there expecting some like luxurious, like, oh my God, like some crazy standout game. But I mean, for like $50, I feel like this is such a massive win compared to, us reporting the news about Xbox hearing all our battle cries, or our wolf howls in a sense, where we're like, dude, $80 games for the holidays. And they're like, okay, we're sorry, we'll retract back to 70. But then Nintendo over here, yeah, they have to ruin the party, soil it for everybody else. But then, we got the Mafia, baby. And are you excited to play this? I know I am.
oh yeah, it wasn't necessarily something on my radar immediately, but once we did pull it up and looked at it, I was like, actually, I think this might be a pause or repeat.
Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. Cannot wait to review it. It's coming a lot sooner than most of you think because Mafia, the old country, launches on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS on August 8th. And the second game that we want to show you guys, because it's going to be a very hot, sweaty summer. So you guys are going to need to strap in. Maybe you got to put some elbow pads on, shoulder pads, you name it, because shoulder. Do they even have shoulder pads? No, they don't. Not when you're skateboarding. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, I know
you can get 'em, but
Tony
it's
Hawk
not
just
brain
delivered me
hockey.
a V8, and he's like, you need a V8, buddy. What the hell are you talking about? Knee pads, fool, because imagine Tony Hawk traded his skateboard for a sword and took a spiritual sabbatical. I mean, that's Sword of the Sea. I mean, you're literally surfing on a blade through a Zen landscapes while doing flips and fixing the world's vibes. I mean, it's going to be really laid back. It's from the makers of Abzu, so expect a very chill, energy, breathtaking art, and just enough gameplay to keep your gamer guilt at bay. So let's go ahead and check out the vibes because, man, August is stacked.
I can already tell. This is going to be one of those games that I'll just always have on the Steam Deck, just ready to go if I'm wanting to just lay down and chill out for a bit.
It does. It feels like that, like, I don't think this is a diss. I'm not taking it as a diss, but it feels like the perfect game where you could, before you're about to take a flight to the, on an airplane. You know what I mean? Like you're just waiting, like you need a perfect game to burn like a quick 30 to an hour, like real quickly as the time goes by. I feel like Sword of the Sea is going to be that kind of style of game. And there is like this reemergence in a sense of like gamers really wanting a really good skateboarding game or even a snowboarding game. I mean, obviously, the remastered for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 has been, receiving a lot of massive hype. People are loving, what they've done to that beloved franchise and, even calling for Tony Hawk Underground, right? Oh, wouldn't that be legendary? Or American Wasteland would be even better. But, you see these kind of style of games and you're like, finally, yes, because, obviously there's Skate 4 that's in the making, Sword of the Sea, excuse me, just seems completely different out of this world. And that's why I love that it sets itself apart, like spreading the seas, baby. What did you say, HenricK?
Oh yeah, definitely going to keep my eye on this, and there might be another pause or repeat coming from this.
I know there's so many good games. I mean, yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, we can highlight the ports. I mean, obviously there's people excited for Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Trust me,
of course,
we are too. But like, Sword of the Sea launches on PC and PS5 alongside PlayStation Plus Extra on August 19th. And the last game that you'll want to keep a on your radar this summer is Lost Soul Aside. The game looks like Final Fantasy had a one-night stand with Devil May Cry, and somehow, they're vibing. The chemistry's great. I mean, it's been in development longer than some of us have had a gym membership, but this flashy, combo-heavy RPG might actually stick the landing. And if nothing else, it proves that China's developers can juggle enemies and let's just face it, our curiosity with a serious flair. So let's go ahead and check out the gameplay.
You know what's going to really sell this game more than anything is going to be the combat. And I was sold the second I saw the like Virgil after image slice move in that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that kind of move.
And I like with a lot of the teasers and the trailers for this game that they're not really showing a lot. And maybe they don't need to show a lot because the reports have it's been almost developed for a full decade, which is kind of ludicrous to me. But, it's like something that we've been hearing with BioShock 4, that it's potentially getting canceled because it takes so damn long. So it is actually kind of cool to see the developers be able to get over that hump in a sense and finally be able to release what they've been wanting to showcase for such a long time. And Lost Souls, you ain't lost now. Because Lost Soul Aside launches on PC and PS5 on August 26th. So those are the three hottest games that Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, your boy Chris Collins and HenricK are recommending to you. But let us know if there's a game that we're missing. And I don't want to hear no damn remaster. I don't want to hear no damn ports. I want to know, is there a game that's so spanking brand new that we need to highlight, or you need to let the comments know what's good? But HenricK, let's keep
clearly
things moving.
We know what Chris thinks about remakes and remasters.
They could be good, not all the time great. Right? But speaking of battles, I mean, there's another legal showdown that's rocking the gaming industry. Break it down, HenricK.
Well, Sony just slapped Tencent, giant Tencent, with a lawsuit claiming their upcoming game, Light of Motoram, is less inspired by Horizon and more copied my homework but changed the font.
Always, right?
I mean, take a look at this screenshot here. Look at this. This does not look like it's exactly the same picture if you squint a little bit, right?
I don't, dude, you ain't lying. Oh my gosh, that's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
I knew my whole life was in 480 pixels this entire time. Holy cow.
Don't worry, Chris, I'm right there with you with the vision without glasses.
Oh, it's so bad.
But according to Sony, it's a slavish clone that borrows everything short of Alloy's airbrush.
I think they were meant slavish clone. Slavish or
slavish? You're right.
I got you.
That's why you got a co-host.
That's right. Hey, trust me. You're like always correcting me. I'm always butchering shit all the time. So
well, gamers around the world are watching this legal brawl unfold like it's the next boss fight. Popcorn in one hand, controller in the other. It's time to go.
Yeah,
let's look at those comments.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do this one more time. As we told you, we're not gonna, put the person or the service on blast. It's giving us such a hard time with this show. But we're gonna try to see if we can screen share. Oh,
hey, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. That was a win for us. So we're gonna jump right on in. So the first comment reads, I think it's clear that the certain Chinese companies that do not respect/recognize copyright. So what if Sony wins this lawsuit in the Northern District of California? Can they actually stop the game's release in other countries? And I think that's such a fair question because, HenricK, one of the things that I saw just before we jumped on air was, the peak, right? One of the bigger games that's like become such a fad among streamers on Twitch and Kick, and now there's a Roblox knockoff that's called Cliff. And I love the developers' response, HenricK, when they came out and was like, dude, I would have rather you guys just pirate our games instead of cave it into such a microtransaction laced dud of a video game that's being developed on Roblox. I feel like this kind of stuff happens all the time. I mean, I even think about even back in the day when we grew up with like Pixar, right? I mean, back to back, The Bug's Life, Ants. You know what I mean? Like you're always gonna get those kind of things, and then and then you it comes across that like, okay, we understand like Jurassic Park is so celebrated, right, HenricK? But you're going, are they the only people? Universal Studios are the only people that can make a Jurassic movie? You know what I mean? Like I feel like copyright law with this old development of AI and Genie 3, which is like should totally creep everybody out, but also be very exciting at the same time. I feel like copyright law is like so thrown out the window nowadays. It's like social media. You can be so mad at somebody about freedom of speech, and then it's like those same laws don't apply in China. So it's very, very difficult, to fight back against a lot of these kind of things. But then you get a comment like this. News, I mean, Sony is suing Tencent over Light Ultrium, which it calls a slavish clone of its Horizon game. It says it twice rejected Tencent's request to license Horizon, speculates that the studio may secretly be the studio Tencent pitched for the collab. So there were reports, HenricK, that Tencent or Sony reached out to Tencent to be able to work together to develop like an update to the Horizon series. Supposedly, those behind-the-scenes talks kind of fell apart, and then all of a sudden, Tencent is claiming that Sony was claiming that Tencent showed them some of the things that they were working on. It kind of fell off, and then within a couple months later, Tencent just like magically drops like a white girl with ginger hair and a bunch of robotic characters. And I mean, you look at these images right here, you just go like, you couldn't have just like changed it a little bit. You couldn't have made it like an Asian girl, Mexican girl, black girl, a robot girl, like
uncanny. Too uncanny.
Little too damn close. And then all of a sudden you get Sony Horizon series versus Tencent's new game. No shame. But the thing that I want you gamers to look at in this clip or in this photo is that this was back in November 28th, 2024. This is how long people have been laughing about this. I mean, look at like there's over, 2.4 million people that looked at that tweet back in the day, and everybody's like, yeah, even Culture Crave, very popular on Twitter, X. And it's like, I don't know, this is a little shaky, but I don't see it. It's very different in my opinion. One has robot animals, and the other is an animal robots. Yes. Very George Carlin of you.
Because that has to be the differentiation.
I know, right? And then this makes it even more blatant. I mean, come on. Sony Interactive Entertainment further alleged that Tencent came to the company with the pitch to license the Horizon IP, to which the Sony Interactive Entertainment declined. Okay, so I got it all twisted, but you guys get the point. I mean, there were talks that they were going to work with each other. We know that Tencent and Sony have had this kind of partnership for like the last 5 years, so this doesn't surprise me that they're going to now go into this kind of court battle. It's going to have to figure this kind of shit out. I mean, Tencent is so massive nowadays that they just feel like maybe Sony and Japan don't have the stronghold, be able to withhold the fight. And, we're seeing even last year that, Chinese developers, which is great. I mean, I feel like everybody around the globe should be able to make fantastic games for everybody, even in the Western world, right, HenricK? But it's it just gets a little bit like wild when everything starts to get bought out, and then all of a sudden, you hear reports like The Bad Guys 2 or even other more movies that are starting to get dropped, where at the end of the movies, they're now showing you a description that's like, hey, man, we don't want you to use this movie to train our AI models. So, like, everything's, being protected in a sense only when it affects their bottom dollar. And these companies like Tencent are so massive, it's so hard to go after them. And I wonder if Sony's going to be able to win this fight. I mean, I feel like it's so stupid, just like how we cover with Pokemon and Power World. They're going after game mechanics. I mean, what's next? If this wins, then like
it's gonna set a precedent for things, is what you're saying?
I think so. It's gonna really, really blow up to be something really, really bad. And then you also get stuff like this. I mean, this is just one of those things everyone can tell they copy the look and aesthetic, but it is just a survival sandbox game based on the trailers, which is nothing like Horizon. I'd be more interested if they actually copied it closer. I was out at the moment. I saw a building base and chopping trees, and I actually laughed out loud when I saw it, that it was being a survival /crafting game with the Power World pets sold like critters in combat and Breath of the Wild gameplay. What Horizon aesthetics remained were just the robotics and the UI. Paraphrasing one YouTube comment, the game's title should actually be Power World Breath of the Horizon. Elden Arc survival. So very, very funny indeed. So we'll go back over here into the two host layout. Okay, everything seems to be wanting to work for us right now. But HenricK, did Tencent just give Alloy a new name, change the robot animal slightly, and hope that Sony wouldn't notice their post-apocalyptic cosplay?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that
Yeah.
there was definitely some heavy inspiration. I mean, it's one thing to copy the aesthetic of a game and say that you just came up with it on your own. But it's another to put those two artworks side by side and not really be able to tell which one is which for which game. That just shows that, hey, either the layout that was originally used by Horizon is way too generic, or you completely copied what they did. And I think it's the latter, honestly.
And then I always kind of wonder too, like, what does that actually mean? Like, will it just be like if it shows up on Steam, GOG, or itch.io? Like, does it if it wins the battle in Northern California? Does it just not show up in the United States, or is it going to be completely barred?
Probably would be what it would be. Yeah. I mean, unless they decide that it's just not economically viable to release it in other countries, if it's not going to be released in the United States, then it just it's probably just not going to be available in the States.
And then all of a sudden China's going to pull some
what it is.
Yeah, China will pull some move and be like, yeah, we don't think Horizon Series appropriate for our native citizens, and we're just trying to develop something that's better fits the culture. We like survival and crafting shit. But yeah, no, it's totally crazy. I mean, I feel like this is something that's going to be a long-standing battle. It's not going to be fixed anytime soon, and I'm very curious on you, the gamers. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like Sony has a case to uphold and be able to fight the grand fight, or do you feel like Tencent is so massive that it's going to be almost nearly impossible for Sony to be able to pull this off in the end? I mean, Sony did announce that they're planning on turning Horizon into a massive movie franchise. So they definitely want to protect their IP before this thing becomes a big blockbuster hit. But let us know how you guys vibing with it. Let us know what's good. But yeah, let's go ahead and start to switch some gears, because I know a couple weeks ago, a conservative group, Collective Shout, convinced payment processors and banks to play the morale police and pressuring them to nuke thousands of spicy games off Steam and itch.io like they were deleting browser history, right? So, GOG's was like, nah, bro. We're not having it. They launched a new website where you can grab 13 of these banned games for free, proudly declaring they're fighting the quiet erasure of the creative works and probably loud moaning that some of you gooners love in video games. So naturally, gamers were all over this situation with the following. So let's see if this will work out for us. Oh, perfect. So yeah, I just redeemed, and I know a lot of y'all had that stupid ass face on your face when you looked at your backlog and you're like, oh my god, maybe I need to adjust the settings, HenricK, where it's not showing recently added because it's just showing Gooner alert. It's just like, you're like, I get the point, but like, it's like I said the first time, it's like, we know that Collective Shout went after Grand Theft Auto 5, for example. We know that they came after Detroit Become Human, or became human, whatever. Everybody gets the point. Like, do you think they actually get their point across by only releasing spicy games for 48 hours and then completely void it? Like, okay, thank you guys.
Come on, Chris. It wasn't only those kind of games. I mean, it was 12 of them, and then Postal 2.
I know, which was a bit random, right? Which is funny. Even like this comment reads, before people dismiss all this because of the porn slop games on that list, the message is a good one, and also Postal 2 is on that list, which is always a good time. Did you feel like this was a good stance from GOG? Do you feel like they got their message across?
I don't think it's so much about the games that they were putting in this like protest. It was more about the publicity and the message behind the publicity. And hey, they definitely did get the message out there, because we're reporting on it. Plenty of other big publications reported on it. I guarantee you plenty of games heard about it, or plenty of gamers heard about it, because, whether or not they wanted to actually go and redeem those games, I know you did, Chris, don't worry.
I did.
But
not. No, I
whether
did
or not they
not.
wanted to actually go
Don't ever
redeem them,
don't slander my name. I am not joining those house parties. No, I'm not. Oh no.
whether or not they wanted to actually
I think
redeem
there's
those
better
games, the
experiences
fact
than these
of-
video games.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
If you want to pleasure yourself, you know what I mean? But
that's
this
the
is not
thing
the
though.
way to
Like it starts a conversation. Like, why did they even do this in the first place? It's kind of ridiculous, right? But
Yeah.
that's the whole point. They wanted people to just hear about what was going on.
Yeah, it's just kind of wild that like, in our world in video games, like why are we the number one target? I mean, well, some people might go like, oh, they're coming after the books and schools, and then why not the movies and television that they're promoting? And we even predicted it 2 to 3 weeks ago that like it's already happening in the video game space. UK users, even with the Xbox, age verification coming soon. Then you hear it with YouTube. Then you're hearing it with others. And then, ironically, it's like, oh, Instagram wants to introduce a new feature called Maps, where they want to geolocate you. And you want to be the cool kid? You want to be the cool kid, HenricK? You want to let us know that you were at Warped Tour in Long Beach? Hit your notification. Only if you let us tell people. I mean, it's just like, why are we turning into that Snapchat culture? I don't know. I think it's all kind of weird, but I'm going a little off topic. But you guys get the point. It's just weird stuff. But then Postal and a bunch of porn games. Yeah, okay. You're not making a strong case here. And then gotta love the energy, even if you don't care about the games. Good old games gets more attractive every time I see them in the news. And then I really hope the payment processors don't target GOG next for this. That is why they're giving the games away. No payment means no way for processors to do anything. Yeah, exactly. That's why they had to create the freedom to buy games, and create their own website. But then this comment right here is what I think should be very important to highlight. Earlier today, it was announced that the game Devotion is coming to GOG. After receiving many messages from gamers, we have decided not to list that game in our store. So that was from 5 years ago, back in 2020. It's like, yeah, we understand. Everybody does have like a change of heart. But it is ironic. That's why I feel with that one comment, it's like, dude, we get the point that you're trying to like highlight the whole censoring thing. But like porn slobs, like really? Like that was the number one thing to like really push people into like supporting you? I have a hard time with that. I'm like, that's just stupid.
Especially when there were games that got pulled from being listed on stores. That weren't just in that genre of just goon or slop, like there was, for example, one of the big ones from last year that we even covered, which is Mouthwashing, indie horror title that was very well done and had a very good, well-written story behind it as well. But that got pulled most likely because of the content inside of the game being a little traumatic. Like it is a game that comes with a trigger warning for certain types of
well, even think about like Silent Hill F. It doesn't even have to be a porn story. It's like a collective shout is a anti porn conservative group that I get it. I mean, part of their stance, which to be fair for them, and I get it, is like they don't like the idea that MasterCard and Visa support websites like Pornhub in the past who have not, vetted their own platform and allow underage porn videos and photos to infiltrate their whole website. And and MasterCard and Visa doesn't want to be associated with it. I totally get that. But then there comes a point where it's like, okay, we've been reporting the last couple of weeks about how there's all these new reports about utilizing AI for facial recognition and government ID scans to be able to prove your age. You would think that would be good enough instead of another group telling us what we should and what we shouldn't be able to play. You know what I mean? That sounds very Puritan, and I don't like that. I mean, that's not something I vibe with. And
it's
I might
think slippery slope to go from just this to even more censorship.
Yeah, and I mean, we all got gooners friends in our life. I'm sure. You know what I mean? And I don't judge you gamers for, choosing different pleasures in life.
Yeah, it's not for me, but I applaud that you're okay with it. When I'm talking to the people I know who do that.
Like I don't always support people throwing dildos on WNBA courts. But if you want to be that funny jackass, you want to get in trouble and you want to get arrested,
no.
that's your own problem. But like, yeah, I don't know. To me personally, Henrik, I feel like the message is still not getting across. A lot of people are going to forget about this within the next week or two. You're going to remember Ozzy's death and the Back to the Beginning show way before you even start thinking about, oh yeah, remember when GOG was protesting that whole censorship? And yeah, remember, like, yeah, we understand. Over 1 million gamers took the opportunity to download all 13 of those games, which is pretty wild. And so I wonder with those 13 gamers, will that create enough, animosity, enough anger, enough frustration to, to go after, such a dominant form of payment, such as MasterCard and Visa, who are claiming, hey, we have nothing to do with this. We're just the facilitators of, payment, yet Steam and itch.io, as we reported a couple weeks back, said, no, that's not the case. You guys actually threatened to remove your service completely from Valve and Steam, and we can't afford that opportunity because we got something massive behind the scenes, wink, wink, with Microsoft and Xbox coming pretty soon. We cannot damage our relationship or it ruins the whole fabric of what's truly to come, which is cloud gaming's only becoming more and more massive. I mean, I don't know. I know you're not crazy about sports, HenricK, but I mean, you think about even like ESPN in the last 48 hours. I mean, ESPN just reported that, they're acquiring NFL Media, and NFL Media is going to have this strong tie with ESPN, and NFL Media will now own 10% stake at ESPN. And then all of a sudden they announced today that I think we lost HenricK the Wreck by accident.
I'm still here. My camera turned off for some reason.
Hey man, why you hiding? Did I really spook you like that? I mean, what's going on, man? Did I not put enough mascara on? But like, it's just like there's a lot of movie things happening behind the scenes. We all used to say cut the cable, cut the cable, cut the cable, and now all of a sudden everything's just getting packaged together. You're seeing even WWE, even join along with ESPN, along with their kind of packaging service. There's no more Hulu as a standalone app, as reported as today. It's actually going to be integrated all together by the end of the year, going into 2026.
How many times has this happened now that they've split and then now they're coming back together? Like,
it's just
feels
crazy.
like it's happening way too often.
Way more often than you would actually think. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's a totally crazy situation. Obviously, GOG has laid their stance down, and yeah, people do make mistakes. Sometimes they do say dumbass things. I'm sure we've all been there. It's just like how we joked before, just like with the facial scan comment earlier today on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. If it's something you wouldn't show your parents or you wouldn't say to your parents, probably shouldn't post online. So yeah, do you feel like GOG fought the good fight? Should it stop with there? And what would you recommend that more publishers and developers, or even the platforms that deliver our video games to the public, should do to create more action behind the scenes with what the hell is going on with this whole censorship or financial censorship, or just, being able to express yourself through video games as publishers and developers are shouting out into the void? Let us know what's good. But HenricK the Wreck, I know we got one last hoorah with the Reddit showdown for the season 9 finale of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. Lay it down for all the gamers.
Reddit's basically walked into a horror game on nightmare mode. No flashlight, low battery, and something breathing behind them.
Yeah, right.
As users recount the scariest moments they've ever survived in gaming, the question: what's the most truly terrified you've ever been from a game? And with holy water in one hand and a controller in the other, gamers are confessing their digital traumas like it's a group therapy. With
I think I need a crucifix. I don't need no holy water. I need a crucifix, damn it. Let's go ahead and get right on into the comments. The original fear on the ladder. Yes, that is probably one of the more creepiest things, especially when you're playing on that freaking PS2 and you're going up there. You don't see that little girl at first. I forgot what the hell her name was. And then all of a sudden, oh, God, I don't want to remember her name. Now she's in my dreams. It's like, it reminds you of, what else did it so good? Was it in BioShock Infinity? They had that pretty awesome when the kid pops up out of nowhere and you're like, oh God! You start swinging at everything and then you're not doing any damage and he disappears and you're like, you really had to do that to me? You really, we're really doing this right now? The next one that we got here is, I've never been as scared as I was playing Amnesia, The Dark Descent, alone in my room at night. The part near the beginning where you're at first exploring the house and then you turn around and that First monster is there, and then I was paralyzed with fear. It was awesome.
That is the game that launched a lot of YouTubers' careers, actually. And ones I can think of would be Markiplier and PewDiePie. Them doing this game as a series of videos kind of got them a lot of views back in the day.
Well, aren't those kind of like the best kind of Twitch streamers out there? I don't know. Chat, let us know. I mean, if you guys are in the comments, I mean, what is your kind of favorite type of streamer to watch? I like to watch the horror ones. Like Queso always likes to do it, I think, like Friday nights, and sometimes I'll jump in for like a couple minutes or whatever, or maybe sometimes I'll linger on if he's really getting scared, shitless. I'm like, at least it's not me, it's him, and he's being busted on camera, not me. I could scream in my own panic, in my own safe space. But let's keep it rolling. The next one that we got here is, the classic Alien Isolation's Alien. Terrified me. Just the Alien in general. Yeah, that creepy son of a bitch with that like green lit dip giving you that like Matrix aesthetic. It's just, the vibes could be even more creepier. What did you say, Henrik?
Yeah, no, 100%. That game is still considered one of the scariest games out there.
Yeah, it still works to this day. Easily works to this day. I'm wondering if like anybody's gonna bring us something old school. Anybody? Okay, here we go. Original Silent Hill, the sewers, 3 a.m. Everything is quiet, and then suddenly there was this like loud crash sound. Controller went flying. Yeah, I mean, woo, Silent Hill, man. Are we even ready? Oh man, I mean, I'm looking at these graphics now. There's always something creepy about PS1, PS2 graphics.
Oh yeah,
Like,
there's a reason why a lot of indie horror games just do that aesthetic, the
but it's
PSX
like
aesthetic.
Sony and PlayStation, what the heck going on with something special? I mean, you think about like, I don't know, Super Nintendo. I can't think of any truly frightful games. But then again, we get a comment like this that's like, nah, fool, that goddamn eel from the Super Mario 64 scared the living hell out of me when I was a kid. Were you scared? I don't know if I was scared, but I do think it's funny. I thought this was one of the more random comments to pop up. But hey,
what scared me more from this like era of games probably was the Majora's Mask Moon. You look up and it's just this big smiling face coming down.
That's
actually the same like genre of creepiness,
Oh, absolutely. And then the last comment that we got here is, I lasted less than 15 minutes playing Subnautica. I am terrified of the ocean depths. I thought playing the game would be a way to help get over that fear. Nope.
Nope.
Not at all.
Not the game.
That would not be the game to play. And like, I mean, some of this kind of stuff is truly terrifying. So like, HenricK, what's the scariest game you've ever played? And did you have to like pause it every 5 seconds to check if that was like a creak in your house, or was that actually in game, or just like a ghost cashing in on your trauma?
I don't get scared by games too much.
Really?
Nowadays,
really? Huh?
Fortunately, I mean, Chris, you're
I
not a
feel
horror
like
fan.
you are totally lying. I don't care
Chris,
if you're a horror fan. Really?
You are
like,
talking to the horror fan, where I watch horror movies year round, not just around
fine.
Halloween.
Like, I watch
around
horror
Halloween,
movies,
I watch
but I think
even
they're
more.
But I think they're campy most of the time. I don't think they're scary.
So are video games that are horror a lot of the times. But I do remember playing a GameCube game. Okay,
and, I like this.
I didn't have too many GameCube games that were like this because there wasn't that many of them that were horror games. But there's this one GameCube game called Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. And this game scared the bejesus out of me, dude. Not only because I was really young, but like they really dive into like the Lovecraftian style horror. And that kind of stuff is actually genuinely just like the cosmic horror that's like, I just don't understand what's going on, and that's why it's scary. And they also mess with you a lot, like make you think that your save file gets corrupted, which is the scariest thing of all, really. Most gamers. Or just things like pretending that your TV's volume got turned all the way down somehow. Things like that to just mess with you, and I love that.
Yeah, that was like really, really smart game mechanics back in the day to really kind of get you tweaking in a sense. Like, I love that you went old school with this kind of, thought process. I was actually trying to challenge myself and think of like a game in the last year that truly terrified me. And I don't know if it's not a full-fledged game, but it was one that I would say gamers really got us excited. for what's to come with this like new reemergence of the franchise. And if you haven't played it, I would highly recommend, because I haven't completed it, and maybe you can face your fears and do it for me. Silent Hill: The Short Message might not might not hit like that peak PS2 era terror that I was kind of talking about, but it still managed to scare me stupid. I mean, that whatever the hell that thing was, that flower covered human with barbed wire cables for limbs, or I don't know if it was wrapped with like Wi-Fi cables. I don't know what the hell was going on, but like that thing chased me so hard I had to pause the game and I never came back since. I mean, that thing is so freaking creepy, and I hate those games that like the chase scenes are like you feel like you're moving fast with them, and then all of a sudden like Anita's like unarmed, and then the world is like sort of melting around you with this like nightmare aesthetic, and then the music kind of creeps in and out, and then the schoolgirl kind of vibe, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be enjoying sleeping anytime soon when Silent Hill F drops. I really don't. I mean, there's something about a little schoolgirl as a character that scares the living gajibis out of me, and I don't know if I'm ready, and clearly I'm not, because I haven't finished the short message. I don't even know how long the gameplay is. I probably went in like maybe 45 minutes in. I think it was like chapter 3 when it all starts to kick in, and I'm like, I cannot get it. I think you're running in like circles sometimes, and it's I don't even want to relive those memories. I think we need to move on, HenricK. But we need to know from you, the gamers, like, what is that like most terrifying moment that you can remember playing in a video game that never goes away? Like, you could just think about it, like, with a snap of a finger. Let us know what's good. But, man, we can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And we want to make sure that you guys are always following us on our social media platforms. And I don't think it's going to be working for us right now, but we can give it a try. Nope, it's not working for us right now. But, hey, we had QR codes.
Hey,
or maybe it's showing. I have no idea.
If you don't know where to go, don't worry about it. I got you, fam.
That's
go to
right.
Chris Collins Show or HenricK the Wreck on YouTube. That's both of our YouTube channels. Go ahead and hit subscribe on both, because you'll want to stay tuned to both.
That's
There's
right.
plenty
Come
of content
on
on there.
Yeah, you always want to hit the like, share, and notification bell so you never miss a live show. We'll be off for a couple weeks, so that's why it's really important to follow us on our social media channels to let you guys know when we're coming back full-fledged with Season 10. I mean, it's insane that we've gone this far. Even in Season 9, we have reached the milestone of over 100+ episodes. So without you gamers, this show would totally not be possible. We always love reading your comments, grilling us, loving the things that we do, what we can do better. And thank you. And hopefully you guys have a good rest of the summer break, and we will catch you real soon in a jiffy.